welcome back to AR-77. Today on the table I have two of my favourite pistols that we can look at in a little bit more depth, a little bit more detail. Now I say two of my favourite pistols. If I go through my back catalogue of reviews and videos and so on and so forth, on any given day I could say that any one of those pistols was my favourite because, well, it's like music, isn't it? It depends what mood you're in, it depends what you haven't shot or whatever for a while. You go back to the ones that you're less familiar with, and you know that's the way it goes, kind of horses for courses. Obviously you've got your preferences. For me it's 1911s. I particularly like the shape of SIGs as well, but yeah, these hold a particular room in my heart, I could say, and it just so happens that they are both replicas of pistols made by HK, Heckler & Koch. If you are German, Heckler & Koch. Perhaps if you're English, Heckler & Koch. If you are American, I guess, and different things around the world. But yeah, one of you pointed out that there's a different pronunciation, and rightly so. Few things about these pistols that really make me think that we benefit as replica collectors from the initial good design of these HK pistols. You know, something's good when it's designed for the firearm version, you know, the real steel, if you will, then that design quality, if not the materials, the quality of the design gets passed back to us in some cases. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's look at the VP9 first of all. VP, of course, standing for Volkspistol or People's Pistol. Sometimes called in different regions or countries the SFP 9, which is the striker-fired pistol 9. You can also get the VP 40 and the SFP 40, which is the 40 caliber version. This has the 9 because it is the 9mm version. Well, this isn't. This is the 4.5mm version. This is the .177 BB shooter by Umarex. But yeah, a really nice pistol, made similar to the real one. You know, it's got the polymer lower and it's got the metal slide there. I really like the look of this pistol. It looks the business. Looks like a very modern striker-fired pistol. I think these were released in about 2014. I think in the first iteration. Really lovely looking pistol, great, you know, long rail on the front there, accessory rail there, Picatinny rail. I love these forward facing kind of slide serrations, front and rear. I like the subtle markings on this one actually. You know, we've got it kind of etched in. This is what I would call a tier 2 pistol if you've seen any of my other videos. So you can't do your takedown lever doesn't work, but your slide catch does. Doesn't do everything, but what it does, I would say it does well. 9mm by 19 there, and you've got it nice and subtly. You've got your actual caliber markings there. Obviously, quite necessary to have that on there. It does shoot something. It's not just a picture. Yeah, so really nice. Well, again, while we're on the slide, you know, you've got really nice white dot sights there, front and rear. You've also got these, I think they call them charging supports, a bit like on an AK. But if you're racking the slide, you're not going to miss those. So that makes for a good user experience. And obviously you've got the serrations at the front there. Really lovely looking pistol. So look at the other side of the slide there. So yeah, a few more markings there. HK 9mm by 19. This is doing nothing for you, and the safety here, it's not a real safety. That's kind of a Umarex or Umarex safety, but it's in a good position. If I hold onto the pistol like that, that's in a good position, and it keeps your finger away from that trigger. So yeah, it's in a good position there for your trigger finger. Yeah, nice pistol. I would prefer it if that bit on the top there, if this piece of plastic here was one piece. That would be preferable to me. But hey ho, it's about 120 quid, this pistol, and for that I think you get you get a pretty nice pistol to shoot. You can kind of see through there, but it does have this kind of supporting pieces of plastic there. Similar, very similar to the M&P 9 and the Glock 19X, kind of made in the same way. And I'm sure the internals are very similar across all three pistols. Nice to shoot. Obviously, you can shoot it kind of double action like that. You can rack the slide and shoot it kind of single action. It's not, you know, when you're shooting it, there is quite a bit of a return. Even with the blowback, there's a bit of kind of return, and then shooting it again doesn't quite feel as smooth as a real single action necessarily. But really nice pistol still. Let's look at the business end. You can't do that at home, so don't. Nicely recessed barrel. Yeah, it looks really nice from that end. Yeah, don't be looking down your barrels. Let me do it, because I'm not directly behind this camera, so I'm not pointing it in an unsafe direction. But I'm doing this so that you don't have to. If you don't ever be looking down your barrels like that, especially if you think there's something jammed in it, it's just a really, well, let's be honest, it's a stupid idea, so don't do it. Noticeable things about this, I think on the real VP9 you can change these side elements here on the grip, and you can change the back strap to fit your particular size of hand or your particular style of carry. That is a big selling point for me of the VP9. Now this grip is so ergonomic. It's up there with the PPQ, the Walther PPQ, I think, has got a similar kind of grip, and it feels so good. It's a really, really lovely pistol to hold, and I think that's where you get the benefit of that design, because this is designed in such a good way. When they replicate that for the replica version, that gets passed on to us, and you get to hold, you know, what feels like a really lovely pistol. I think they've made this is a more modern pistol than the USP, and I think what they've done here with the Picatinny rail makes it a more usable pistol. It's kind of a proprietary rail on the USP, as we'll see in a bit. This is probably a bit more practical in terms of you sticking lasers and things. There's probably, I'm guessing, an airsoft version of this, so you might want your lasers, you might want your torches on there. Yeah, one of my favourite pistols. I think it just looks really good. It looks great. I think it from an aesthetics point of view, I love the VP9. It looks modern, looks current, and it looks to business. You know, again, you've got that. You've got your trigger safety there as well. Really nice pistol. Really nice pistol. Metal trigger. And this, you've got your Umarex kind of standard, heavy, weighty metal. What do they call these? Magazines. That's what we'll call them for today. Houses your CO2 and your BBs. There's no panel on the bottom to cover that up, which would have been nice, but still, I'm not sure how long you spend looking at the bottom of your magazine. It works and it's functional, and that's good, and it adds a little bit of extra weight to the pistol once it's in there. It sits in there really nicely, and it's, in terms of your mag release, it's this trigger guard, and that pops it out really quite nicely. It feels like it's sprung. Yeah, I think it is. So again, good quality for just over 100 quid, maybe a bit more than that actually, 120, 130. It's a really nice pistol. Obviously, if you prefer the Glock 19X styling, if you prefer the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 styling, you might want to go for one of those pistols at a similar price range. But I don't know. Yeah, it's about aesthetic preference at that point. This is a really good one. This is a really good pistol in that sort of mid-range of replica air pistols. But let's leave the VP9. Anything on my list that I've forgotten? No, I don't think so. Let's bring in the star of the show, the HK USP. Now, this was released in 1993. Certainly the real world firearm was, to replace the P7, the affectionately titled Squeeze Cocker. I think this replaced that. I think first of all this came out in 40 caliber, followed closely by the 9mm, and then 45 ACP. This has been in countless films, countless video games, rigorously tested, has a reputation for being a really kind of resilient pistol. There is one story that I read when I was looking into this, that said as part of the testing they purposefully lodged a bullet in the barrel, and to dislodge it they simply fired another bullet at the rear of the first one. And true to HK reputation, it did dislodge the first bullet. A little bit of deformation within the barrel itself, I believe, but after that it successfully continued to fire further rounds. So while not a great idea, it certainly shows that the resilience of or the reputation of the resilience of these pistols is well founded. And again, I feel like stories like that give you a bit of pleasure of ownership when you've got a replica like this. You go, there's a bit of a story behind this, a bit of a history behind this. They've got a good reputation in the gun community, and therefore it's nice for us as replica collectors to feel like we're holding on to something that's got a bit of lineage. The other thing of it, is of course, these in the real world these cost some good money, and to get one for less than 200 quid, to get a replica version for less than 200 quid, the ammunition is cheap, but does everything that the real steel does, is just brilliant for me, and that's a big part of the increasing size of my collection. This is finished in a really nice kind of metal. It's a grey on all the metal areas here. You've got the slide there, your hammer, your safety, slide catch release trigger are all in this kind of metal grey colour. As you can see, I like grey. The writing on the slide is actually, it's probably too bright here, but it's actually a kind of a silver finish too. It's not quite white. It does stand out. I would rather it was etched in, but that's fine. To me, that's fine. There's top there, that is one piece on the USP, so that's quite nice. And you can obviously rack your slide that way. You can cock the trigger that way, because this is cock the hammer, sorry, that way, because this is a hammer fired pistol, not striker fired. Yeah. You can shoot this pistol in double action or single action, as I just showed you. Rack the slide and you're ready for single action. Obviously, once you've fired the pistol like that, the slide will cock it again, and you're ready to go again. I don't know about you, but I could do this all day. Yeah, really nice pistol. You've got your actual caliber markings there, 4.5mm. Again, you've got this kind of, you've got your grip safety mag release there. That's quite good. That's metal as well. Let's get a magazine out. Full metal, fully enclosed, full size, weighty, drop out metal magazine. It's got your CO2 and your BBs in there, so that's good. And that will slide in there like it was meant to. And yeah, it's kind of an ambidextrous release really, with the thing on the trigger guard there. You could call that ambidextrous. You do it from this side or the other side. Not so with the safety. A note on that though, when you are ready to go, that also works as a safety, but decocker as well. So like I said, a fully functional pistol, really nice. Fully field strippable as well, of course, which is great. So you have there the HK USP, a very popular pistol. One thing about this is, and this kind of caused a bit of a furore in the gun community as well, I believe, this is a kind of a proprietary rail, as I mentioned earlier, so there are specific attachments that would attach to the USP. Having said that, there is a rail adapter, I believe, that you can get, which kind of turns this into a Picatinny rail. So yeah, that's quite good, quite good. So there you have it, the HK USP, what I would call a top tier replica air pistol, and the VP9, what I'd call a tier 2 replica air pistol, both of which I think are great, which is why I've made this video. If you like HKs and you want to own something that's got that great reputation. I don't think you'll be disappointed with either of these, but this bad boy, if you see one and you're a replica air pistols collector, you must get. That's it for today. More videos coming soon. Thank you once again for joining me. I hope you found that somewhat informative, and if not, just a good opportunity to look at some guns again, because that's why we're all here. Thanks again. All the best. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.